Rabbi Lords, are you still unfurling? All right.
He has finished unfurling.
Now I know some of you were expecting the Torah and it didn't make it to you. So if you want to give someone a break, you can find another spot and invite them. And if you're already holding the Torah and someone asks you for an opportunity to hold it, why don't you trade out with them so everyone has a chance to hold the Torah? We're going to give you the complete tour of the entire Torah, abridged. 5 highlights from the Torah as taught from some of us, your rabbis and cantors. And we're going to start with Rabbi Rebecca Rosenthal in the book of Breshit, in the book of Genesis. She's going to teach something from that book right now. And we'll go around the Torah and teach a few spots before we read from it tonight.
All right, so most of us know that Breshit, that Genesis, is a very exciting book because not only does it tell us about the creation of the world and Noah's flood and the rainbow, but it tells us all about the first Jewish family, Abraham and Sarah, who hear the voice of God telling them to go on a big, long, special trip where they go and they follow God and they learn about God, only one God, and they have many children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Their great-grandson Joseph has 11 brothers and 1 sister. And at the end of Genesis, which is over here, they all go down to Egypt, where we learn about...
This is the second book of the Torah, Exodus or Shemot. There's a little bit of space in between, 3 or 4 spaces in between each book, which indicates there's a new book here. And in the book of Shemot, in the book of Exodus, we have this unique way that the Hebrew is written in the Torah. It indicates the celebration of the Israelites when they crossed over the sea and celebrated Mi Chamocha is part of this poem. It's called the Song of the Sea, and it even looks like perhaps you see a wall of water on one side and the other, and the Israelites marching through, a major highlight from the book of Exodus. Rabbi Colin.
And then right over here at this next gap of a few different lines, we have the words Vayikra El Moshe, and that is the beginning of the book of Leviticus. Leviticus is the book of the priests and everything that the priests did in the holy temple that used to stand in Jerusalem. And you'll find in here all sorts of things, including there's a lot of animal sacrifice. We don't do it anymore, but we used to. And it comes to be sort of like a divine barbecue. And then you have also around here the Holiness Code, which has some very important texts in it, including the one that Rabbi Buchdahl taught us before, which is the very middle verse of the very middle book of the Torah, which is, you shall love your neighbor as yourself, which isn't a stranger, it's in fact a neighbor. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. And that is right here in the book of Leviticus, right there in the center.
Okay, and picking up here, you might see the next gap. That tells us we're now in the book of Numbers, Bamidbar, in the wilderness. And I want to point out one highlight, which happens to be right next to where my family is, which is very nice. It is the priestly benediction. This is one of the oldest blessings in the entire Torah, and the priests used to do this. They used to take these shawls, put them over their heads like this, put their hands up like this, and bless the people. And actually, if you go to a traditional synagogue, they still do it, and it's quite amazing looking. So we're going to bless you real quickly. May God bless you and keep you. We say, Shalom. May God make you feel a sense of abundant light and wholeness and peace. So that beautiful blessing that you might hear many times, it comes all the way from this part of the Torah.
Rabbi Lords,
Before
you go, Rabbi Lords, this is a good time if you want to hold the Torah. If you haven't done it yet, I would ask you to speak to someone, ask them to switch, because we won't have it up for much longer. So if you'd like to move into a position to hold it, this is a good time to do it now. And Rabbi Lord is going to tell us about the 5th book of the Torah.
So, over here, we have the 5th book of the Torah. You'll see there are, again, a gap here. Mind the gap, because it means we're moving into a new book. This book has everything. This book is everything. We call it Deuteronomy or Devarim, but we also call it Mishnah Torah because it's a repetition, basically, of the entire Torah. If you forgot something that happened earlier, we'll tell you about it again here. Moses is giving his last sermon to the people before they go into the Holy Land, and if you think our sermons are long, oi. This one is an entire book of the Torah. It's got a lot of stuff again. I'm going to point out this section here, which has, right here, the 10 Commandments. Is this the first time we see the 10 Commandments? Where do we see the 10 Commandments first? In Exodus, but here it is repeated again why we call it sort of the Mishnah Torah. And right next to it, just a few verses down, we have the Shema and the Ve'ahavta. And right before the Shema, a little line that tells us that this land we're going into is Eretz Zavat Chalav Udvash. Does anyone know that? Eretz Zavat Chalav Udvash. Oh, nice. A land flowing with milk and honey. So this is the very final book of the Torah. It comes all the way back here. Moses finally finishes his sermon with a beautiful poem that's also laid out in a very interesting, unique way. You don't see this double column going on anywhere else in the Torah, but then it concludes with these words we're going to read before we kick it back all the way to Genesis to start over again, a new reading year together.
So we have two wonderful members of our community who are going to help us complete the Torah and then start it right back again at the beginning, Rachel and Max. And we'll join together in the blessing for reading Torah, all as one community. Before we do that, I'll say that one of the beauties of reading the Torah and celebrating the Torah cycle is that we are never truly finished, which is why when we finish Deuteronomy, we immediately go to Bereshit, and we're going to have a chance to experience that actual transitional moment now. First, let's join together in the blessing before reading Torah. Baruch hu et Adonai Hamvorach. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
Velokam navi od beYisrael keMoshe asher yado Adonai panim el panim lechol ha'otot v'chamotzi asher shelacho Adonai la'asot be'eretz Mitzrayim לפרעה כל עבדיו ולכל ארצו ולכל חיה החזקה ולכל המורה הגדול אשר עשה משה לעיני כל ישראל.
Can we say Hazak, Hazak? Hazak, Hazak, v'nitchazek. Hazak, Hazak, v'nitchazek.
Amen. Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz ve'haaretz hayita tohu vavohu v'choshech al pnei tehom v'ruach Elohim merachefet al pnei hamayim vayomer Elohim yehi or vayehi or.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Yashikoah to everyone. We're going to carefully roll the scroll. Whoever of us is helping to do it, just do it slowly and make sure that it's in a good place when it goes back onto the 18, the wooden. And we'll invite those that are done to come downstairs. We have delicious food and some wonderful dancing as we continue our celebration of Simchat Torah. Hag Sameach, everyone.